Hello and welcome to Strictly on the Sofa.
The show where we overanalyze every sequin, every heel turn and every dance disaster, all from the comfort of our own living rooms. The reason I said that quite weirdly was because I thought you said it quite weirdly, but now I think it comes across like I've said it quite weirdly, so...
I was going to say that's the most dramatic introduction we've ever given. We're normally not that, I don't know, local radio about it, but...
Nicey and Smashy or whatever their names are, literally. God, that's a dated reference. Yeah, what's wrong with us? But anywho, I'm Laura.
And I'm Flo. Welcome.
Welcome.
Well, actually, I don't know why I'm in such a cheery mood. If we'd have recorded this straight after the results show yesterday, I would have been in such a sad, bad mood. But because we've got a day on, I feel like I've, come to terms with the result. So sorry for the delay, but also you get a slightly cheerier version of me. So overall, it's a win. I'm still so sad about Tony leaving, though.
I know. What are your thoughts on everything? Tell me everything. Lay it on me.
My thoughts were, it probably, on a rational level, it's probably his time to go, right? Because his scores weren't as good as the others, and he was quite a gap between them. But I maintain that his was one of the most entertaining dances of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first dance last night on Saturday night that made me smile. Subsequently other dances did, but that was the first one in the show that I was like, oh, this is great, I'm loving it. And I just think I would rather have a slightly less good dancer who's entertaining than someone who's sort of technically getting things kind of there, but the performance isn't there.
Yeah.
So I'm just very sad to have lost him, basically, because he is the epitome of what Strictly's all about. And I think I would have just loved to see him to get to Blackpool. I don't think he maybe had that many more weeks left in him, but I'd have loved to see him go to Blackpool.
Yeah. The fact is, him and Katja were still doing something new every week.
Right.
And I think that's... I was still excited to see what they would do. And even this week, that Roly-Poly move made me gasp.
God. I know, me too.
And so I think it is a loss to the show. I really do. And also, for that matter, I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was bad anyway. But it was by no means, Craig, a 4.
No.
Come on, you get a 4 for walking out there. It was good. I thought his kickball changes were really great. I thought his musicality's improved a lot. I thought he matched Katja really well, actually. And the Roly-Polys, I'm saying, for a 56-year-old man, I couldn't do that at 31.
I know.
So, I think that was an incredible... Katja is a genius, a genius. So I think it is a loss to the show that he's gone. And I don't really understand anyone who was ever complaining that... I was gutted last week to lose Ellie from the competition, really gutted. But I don't really know anyone that thought that losing Tony wouldn't be a loss. I don't know why anyone was upset at Tony still being there. I was like, yeah, but he's still great, isn't he?
Yeah,
I still want to watch him. He's not tiring me out. I'm not bored by his performances at all, in the slightest.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm sad. It also felt like such a anticlimax, the way that he went out, and obviously he should not have done the dance off if he had an injury, and also I believe he had an injury. All these people on Twitter are like, injury is it? I'm like, well, yeah, probably.
Those Roly-Polys, did you see them?
I also think he would have danced again. He's hardly shied away from any of this.
No, exactly.
I definitely think he would have danced again if he could have done.
Yeah,
but I just felt so sad that it was like, okay, you're in the dance off, and he's going home. It was suddenly like, what? I felt a bit like I had whiplash.
Yeah. It's just a shame, isn't it? The thing is, they probably would have saved Tyler over Tony, and it was probably one of those dances where, right, hopefully I've got a nice soft ballroom next week, and I'm not going to be doing Roly-Polys again. But so you hope, if you're going to get through, you probably could have continued, or you reassess, don't you? because it's all filmed on the same night, right? So I think we forget that, he's not just coming the next day and being like CBA. Also, the conspiracy theories, just, can they stop? I do think, like, look what 25 million Arsenal followers did for Tony this week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they did F all. Where were they this week? We could have done with a bit of conspiracy plotting to get him through to Blackpool.
Where were you? Leslie Avenue.
Where are you?
Yeah, literally. I'm not having it. I was just I'm a bit over trying to find negativity in this joyous show. Like, no, thank you. She said 100%. Negatively. But,
I hate negativity.
I hate Uncle Negativity. So it's a real sadness to see him go, and I agree with Katja that he did what he set out to do, which was to enjoy something, to learn to enjoy a new skill, and to show that there is life in the old dog yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's how he would put that. But I just feel like, I don't know if you watched It Takes Two tonight, but he was like, 26 years ago I didn't want to be on this planet, and now I'm like here learning how to dance and talking to you, Rylan, and that was the highlight of the whole thing. And I was like, do you know what? Good, fair play.
Yeah, his story is really incredible, and like he hardly touched on it, to be honest, like this series. I think he did every now and again, but he definitely didn't turn it into like a sob story or anything. It's just like, I just got so much respect for him, and like, he really came and gave it his best shot, and it was just like really made the show every week, I think. So
never knowingly undersold is Tony Adams' motto, and also John Lewis's, but mostly Tony Adams's. I thought
both
he was
national treasures. So
yes, exactly. Both welcome back at Christmas, I hope. I am sad to see him go. I do think it probably would have been Tyler that was saved, though.
Yeah,
I mean, on technical ability, I guess.
Yeah,
but do you want to discuss Tyler's dance now?
Yeah, why not? Before we move on, can I just say I love both Tony and Katya's suits this week. I was like, I want both of those for work. How smart would I look?
You look amazing, especially one at the same time. Yeah, so shall we go on to Tyler and Diane?
Let's talk about
Diane, as well, you say. It's really, we're getting to the level of competition to the point where now Tony is gone, I am genuinely very concerned about who's going to go next week.
Yes.
And I was like, it's been at that level for a while now, but like Tyler shouldn't be in a dance-off, and yet at the same time, he should have been. Do you know what I mean? Like, he did a very, very accomplished dance, and I thought it was good. There was a lot of like people who thought it was boring on Twitter, and then I watched it and I was like, I didn't think it was boring at all. So I don't know where that came from. I thought it was quite good. Did I agree with Craig that he wasn't dancing through the moves? Yeah. And I did think it was a little bit, I thought I could see Diane leading in a way that I haven't seen from him for ages, actually. So I was surprised with that. But I also thought, as passos go, it had the drama.
Yes, it did. I think you're right. It had the drama.
It had quite a lot of the shaping, I thought. I don't know. I didn't think it was a bad fist at it.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the thing is that, like, next up from Tony, and there is a full 6 points difference, but next on the actual leaderboard, so only, like, I guess a 1 point difference when it comes to actually totting up the scores, is Kim, Tyler and Ellie all tied on 31 points.
That's so difficult.
Yeah. So actually, like, that dance-off, anyone is
in danger. Oh my God.
I agree with you on the drama of this. It wasn't my favourite dance of the night, and I wasn't unhappy that he was in the dance off. I think the flames in the background were doing a lot of the work to make it feel very dramatic, which maybe is a bit rude. What I didn't think it had was like the shaping and the kind of like breath into the movement to make it really strong and powerful. I think it had like, it was quite snappy and quite like it didn't feel like he was taking his time to like make the moves as big and full as they could be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That was my issue with it. Like, for that reason, it felt like he's trying really hard to make this look powerful and dramatic, but it's not quite translating.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was terrible, though.
Yeah.
I thought 6 was harsh from Craig.
Yeah, really
9
harsh.
From was too generous. Like, a 7 or an 8 would have been good for me.
A couple of 7s, a couple of 8s, I would say. Because he didn't go wrong.
No.
I think it lacked intention, maybe. At worst. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it made it. I basically everything you said, I think I agree with. It's just not his best dance, but it wasn't bad, and I enjoyed it. It was watchable, but as you say, the night was quite a heavy night of amazing dances, right?
I think this is it. I think in another series he would have got by mid-table with that and got by quite happily.
Easily on that.
And we'd have been like, yeah, it was good, like he deserves to go through. But because of what it was on Saturday night, everyone was just incredible. So, yeah.
And it's also a problem a lot of people have had with Passos, of the the statuesqueness of it. Not that he was statuesque, but you know what I mean, the posed moments. Yeah. I'm sure that's a criticism that loads of people have had. So it's a foible of the Paso, I guess.
Yeah.
Why do I say the word foible so much?
Foible.
I don't even know if I've used it correctly, but here we move. And anyway, so I wasn't surprised to see him in the dance-off, and also it wasn't a great slot. I feel like he was early in the night, and then all of the amazing. It was a bit of a night of two halves, wasn't it?
It really was. So
yeah. But I don't expect to see him there. Well, I don't know. Do I expect to see him there again? With the way that I don't know who can. I honestly, Blackpool is going to be mental.
I know. I just got no idea what to expect from next week. Should we talk about Ellie, who was also tied on 31 with her Charleston? What did you make of this?
I liked it. I thought it was good. It was one of her best. I agree. I did see someone on Twitter say that they would simply expire if they were told by one of the judges that Couple's Choice in a Charleston suited them the best. That did and then when I watched that after the fact, it did because I watched it a bit late, it did make me laugh. But I also think it was by far one of her best dances. I think, again, building on last week, we didn't see her thinking through the moves, which I think is hard for a Charleston because there's a lot of lift and a lot of placement. I didn't feel like she was placing herself to be moved, so I thought that was really good. I think her performance is coming along swimmingly. If I'm being totally honest and a little judgmental, nitpicking probably, to be honest, I'm getting a bit bored by her because I'm getting a bit fed up of her not... I don't know what it is. Like, there's something... I don't feel like she's fully loosened up.
Yeah.
And we're in week 8 now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought this was one of her better, by far one of her best dances, actually. And I thought it was a lot better than her Couple's Choice. I still had beef with Anton saying you could be on the West End. I was like, could she? I think this was one of her better dances and it was really good. So I feel harsh to say that I'm feeling a bit more like I'm getting more of the same from her every week because this was one of her better dances. But I do also, at the same time, feel like I'm getting more of the same from her most of the time. What do you think?
So basically agree on with all of that. Just to cut to the chase.
Don't come for me like this.
I found this boring. Sorry, Ellie. And I really am trying to like. I really like Ellie.
I think that's why I waffle.
Yeah, I found it boring. It is definitely her best dance that she's done.
Yeah.
But she's a comedy actress, and I didn't really smile once during this. I was like, oh, that was good, that was nice. But it didn't make me go like, ooh, or like, ha, or wow. I was just like,
Yeah.
And that was it. So I was like, and I feel like if she's not going to crack it on the Charleston, like, yeah. I just think she's running. I feel like she's running out of steam. However, she's getting through every week, so maybe she's not.
Well,
yeah.
This is the first time this series that I felt who's voting for them. And I know that sounds really, really harsh. And I know that people love them, so I feel really bad saying it. And also, she was my favourite when she got announced. I really do like them a lot. I think they're a great partnership. But this is the first time in the whole series that I've been like, who's voting for them? Because I think the thing is, I just don't feel passionate about them anymore in a way that I did.
Exactly. I think the thing is that everyone is stepping up their game so much. And I don't feel that with this partnership. Like,
I agree.
They're doing sort of what they need to do, ticking the boxes and stuff, but I don't feel like they're really, when the competition around them is so strong, and even say someone like Tony, who's technically not there, I felt like he was like pushing, him and Hattie were like pushing the envelope, you know?
Yeah,
exactly. And I'm just not getting that.
No,
and like, the most inventive thing they've done is that couple's choice, which, as we said at the time, I didn't love that either. So yeah. Shall we move on?
Yes.
To
Sorry, I waffled.
Also tied on 31 points, Kim and Graziano with their American Smooth.
Yes.
I loved this, and this was I felt more passionately about this than the other two dances it was tied with. So. I don't know if it was the backstory. I don't know. I don't think it was the backstory. I think it was the lifts. I think it was the they both brought like the kind of emotion to the dance.
Yeah, there was a connection.
So I thought this was great, and I think I gave Kim one of my votes actually, because I could see she was in danger zone, and I was like, I don't want her to go out on that emotional dance when I thought it was better than the others that she was bunched up with in the marks. So yeah, lovely Kim.
I think it's a real shame that she offered the wrong leg for that lift, because I thought it was brilliant, and I disagreed with Motsy slightly, just in that Motsy said that she thought that it dipped a lot in the middle. I don't think it dipped a lot, but I do think she got a little bit more nervous, especially because you could tell from the VT how much pressure she was putting on herself, that this dance meant such a lot to her, and that it had to be perfect. And like, I was like, but it's going to be very hard to achieve, like, perfection is impossible, right? Especially when you've been learning to dance for 8 weeks. Or however many, weeks they did before that as well. But like, I felt like there was a little bit of, I don't think it dipped totally in the way that the judges sort of said it did. No, but, and I did think she recovered really well. And I think I would love to, I think in the dress rehearsal she did it perfectly, so I feel a bit sorry for her. But, I thought it was a beautiful dance, really beautiful. The storytelling, as Craig said, the storytelling was spot on. It moved me a lot, actually. I mean, as it obviously would. But
me too.
It was very moving, and it was a great, and more than that, it was a beautiful ballroom dance. And I was so annoyed that no one mentioned it until Anton, because it was such a big criticism of theirs a couple of weeks ago. Her frame has improved immensely. No more spaghetti arms.
So much.
So
agreed.
Loved Kim's dance.
I agree.
Thought it was really good. I agreed. Of those 31s, I would say she was top of the 31s.
Yes.
Dare I even say going into a 32?
I have a question. Right, this is related to my question, because then the next person on the leaderboard is Helen Skelton with 32. But my question, before we move on, my question is going to be, do you think that they should give them like 0.5 or point something, like a decimal place point? Or do you just think they should stick from 1 to 10? What do they do on Dancing on Ice? I feel like they do 0.5s or something. Have I made that up?
They do 0.5s on Dancing on Ice.
Do they?
They do 0.5s on Dancing on Ice,
yeah.
They do, but it stresses me out. And I can't work out if it stresses me out because I don't like Dancing on Ice, or whether it stresses me out because, like, it's just not neat. I don't know whether, like, it just doesn't, like, it just feels, because it feels like a cop-out. Round it up or round it down, choose.
Do you think?
Like, what if they...
No, I think, because sometimes there's such a difference between like a 7 dance and an 8 dance and an 8 dance and a 9 dance. And then you end up with people bunched up like this, which also then upsets like the score, like it squashes the leaderboard. So actually people
Scoring.
who look like... Scoring. Shut up.
From New York.
It squashes the leaderboard.
Boys.
So people who look like they're really high up aren't actually, and people who look like they're really low down aren't actually. And I just wondered that there might be like an extra element of differentiation if you were to have a 0.5 mark. But obviously you don't like it, so...
No, but I also don't like change, so it's probably something to do with that more than anything else. And as I said, dancing on ice just gives me the ick. Unreasonably so. But also, you know, I was going to be like, no one's ever broken an arm on Strictly, but Tony Adams did just withdraw through injury, so who knows? But yes, it's a hard one. I can see where you're coming from, and I'm sure I'd eventually embrace it.
It would happen for like 2 weeks, and you'd be like, "It's like we've always had 0.5 score."
Oh, shut up!
No, I'm joking. I think as well, it might kind of like remove the excitement of going from like a 9 to a 10. So
I've had a 9.5 for 6 million years, right? And also, I feel like no one would ever get a 10 that way because, again, don't they say it's impossible? I'm sure I've heard Craig say this before. Maybe Craig saying like, or Shirley saying that for the level of what that, like a 10 for them, for celebrities, is very different from like a 10 for the pros. Yeah. Obviously. Because like with that level, they have to take into account with that level of rehearsal, with that level of, rehearsal's probably the best way of saying anything. That 10, they're never going to be, even if they go a little bit wrong, some things are still a 10. Although I don't mean actually wrong, but I just mean, is anyone ever perfect in Strictly Come Dancing?
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, we'll get to that because I think there was a perfect score this week that was not delivered.
Interesting.
So we'll discuss.
Well, let's move on then to 32 points, Helen Skelton and her salsa.
Ooh. I thought it was a bit too neat, if I'm honest.
Yes! So, right, this is... technically it was great, but I just think... She looked like she was thinking through all the steps, and it looked too... She didn't look like she was having a great time. She didn't look like she was having a terrible time, but she didn't look like really natural and just off the cuff, which I always think with a salsa, you want to look like you just sort of like rocked up to a salsa club and like someone's like taking your hand and like just whipped you onto the floor and you're just sort of improvising there and then with them. And this didn't look like that at all. It looked like she had some very set moves that she needed to hit every point. And she did hit every point. Can't fault her on that at all. But it just didn't look... I just was not convinced, like, from her sort of, like, neck up, I was not convinced by this at all. No. And it's a shame because, technically it was so good.
I completely agree. Like, wholeheartedly, I thought it was good. I feel like I've seen her look more comfortable in dances that are more out of her comfort zone. I don't know if it was the lifts and feeling like she needed to be in certain places for the lifts, because those lifts were hard, obviously. And I think Gorka said in the VT, didn't he, that if you even get it a little bit wrong, it could be really dangerous, and that would be on my mind. So I don't know if it was partially that, but I just thought it was a bit too neat. But like, as you say, hit every mark. Generally, a great dance. Again, probably harsher than we would be in any other year about it, because it was good. Also, I have to say, not her fault at all, but I always think of Aston's salsa to Despacito in like week 3, and it was it was with Jeanette, so you know what Jeanette was doing around, like, you know, flying about. So I just I feel like I was expecting something similar, which was obviously going to not be that, and it was going to be different, and Gorka's a great choreographer, and it was great it lacked that something to make it like I'm jumping out of my seat shouting about this.
Yeah, exactly. I think the marks 8s all the way through were fair for that. Like,
yeah,
I think that
exactly. I agree.
Exactly how I feel about it. Like, really good. Just want to see something like what she did with her sort of Charleston, and what did she dance last week?
Don't ask me that. I've had a sleep since then.
Anyway, she's managed to do that and make it look more comfortable and natural the last couple of weeks. So it's a shame that it didn't quite translate to this one.
No, but she'll pick back up, I'm sure. As will as you know, I think that I would have almost said that I would put that below Kim slightly. I might have swapped her and Kim on the leaderboard because I felt very similarly about Tyler. Who else is in the bottom? Ellie, and Tyler, Ellie, and Helen's was all. They were all competent dances. And all good. And I would probably watch them again. So they're not in that I would never watch those again routines, but like neither of them set me on fire.
Exactly. Yes. Agree.
So, it's so hard this year. So like they're all competent performers.
I know. We're not even on like this was the sort of first half of the show, which was like good and nice, but like we're not even on to the second half of the show yet, which was incredible. Let's move on because this is the bit I want to talk about. We're now on to Molly and her rumba.
Blimey, O'Reilly. I thought this was
amazing.
Right. You know how week in, week out that you have said, because you have put it correctly. I didn't mean to be like you have said. I didn't mean it like Jacques, but you have said that we want to see a bit more light and shade from Molly.
Yeah.
Do you think we got it?
Yes!
I think we got it.
Oh my god, we got this in spades. I was so happy. She did so well with this. It was really like grown up and emotional, and it had the light and shade. It had everything. It had just like exactly what I wanted, and I almost felt a bit sorry for her that like she went first out of this next batch of people because like I almost like it was as good as any of these. If she'd have gone last, maybe she'd have got an extra 10 or 2. I don't know. I don't know.
I definitely think she deserved more than 110.
I think she did. 100%.
Did she get 110?
110, 3 9s and 110. Yeah.
Where did she... Oh, I guess Anton did so. But Anton's like, I'm really nitpicking now, and then won't nitpick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you hand out 10 light sweets, give her one.
I know.
I thought she was really good. I thought it was... it was... I've said this before, but Carlos treating her like a woman it really means a lot, because I think Strictly does have that tendency to be like, we'll give like people over the age of 20 but younger than 26 really twee routines, and I just think that it was such a good it was such a brilliant rumba. Also that dress was incredible.
Beautiful.
Her and Carlos really have chemistry. I thought it was amazing. The song choice was brilliant. It was by far one of the best rumbas that we've seen on the show. I thought it was incredible. Really, really good. She's arrived, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's arrived before this, but I feel like she's returned.
But this is... it's
not a comeback, it's a return.
This is the first week where I've watched the dance where I've really felt like, that was amazing. I'm so happy for her. She really, like... and what a good bounce back from another dance off, and she just did so well. I was so like, she got one of my votes because I was like, I don't want to see her in the dance off again after that. Like, that was amazing.
So proud of her. That was brilliant. Really brilliant. Not much more to say about that, other than I was at a party at the weekend, and hence why I had to watch Thriller a little bit late on Saturday, and I was trying to do a rumba, and can confirm it's really hard. I was trying to drag my friend across the floor, and it was like very difficult. A nightmare. But then we moved to the Paso Doble, and then we were just shouting Austin Healey, and that was really fun. So I'm a true Strictly fan. I take it everywhere with me, guys.
Really
yes.
Amazing. Let's talk about... Okay, we've got 2 more people tied now on 38. See, it's so close at the top of the leaderboard.
Tied at 38!
Hamza and Will both tied on 38. Who do you want to talk about first?
I don't really know, to be honest, because I loved both of these dances a lot. I'm gonna say Will, because I want to say the same thing I said about Kim, is that his top line has improved immensely.
Yeah.
His frame was stunning. I thought it was a clearly very emotional dance like Kim's, and I really respect him. And I really respect Nancy. I thought it was a lovely ballroom routine, and it felt classic. It felt like it almost should have been saved for Blackpool. Because I mean, they basically had the Blackpool what's the AI they have not AI AR augmented reality around the thing.
With the chandeliers and stuff.
It's either that or like the Titanic ball. Yeah. But I just thought it was really stunning as a dance, just really stunning, and he deserved the marks he got. I thought it was really moving.
So much.
Again, the storytelling second to none. We've got such a bunch of performers this year. Which, again, would I be this harsh on Ellie Taylor's performance if we didn't have such a bunch of performers this year? It's crazy. Yeah. Really, really good. What did you think?
Honestly, not much to add. I loved the colour of Nancy's dress. Oh, just want to call that out specifically. She looked so beautiful. Will looked really lovely and smart as well. Like, they just looked so good together. And the partnership seems so good, especially afterwards when she he obviously couldn't speak, and she was sort of explaining for him and choking up as well. Oh,
I was like, that man is one, are you okay, away from full-on sobbing on that floor. Yeah. I was like, nobody ask him if he's okay.
Don't look him in the eye.
Nobody say a word. Don't hug him. Let him get backstage. Like, bless his heart. Bless his heart. I was quite I was heartwarmed by how stressed he was about trying not to cry.
I know.
Oh, bless his heart. But I thought it was a really great dance. Len Goodman would have approved.
Yes, yeah, he really would. Oh,
lovely. And that top line, beautiful.
Chef's kiss.
It felt like he was leading, you know?
Yes.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
Really good. Should we move on to Hamza?
Yeah. What did you think?
Right. I think someone tweeted this, and I definitely said this on the radio recently, but there are some couple's choices that justify the couple's choice segment, and this is one of them. Yeah. And I want to make the argument again for when there are rules, or when there are when there is a style.
Yes.
This was a style. Yes. When there's style and intention behind a dance, I love couple's choice.
Yes.
I adore when they explain the style of the dance. Yeah. I love couple's choice. The problem is, and when you think about early couples' choice, and I mean, I've banged this drum for so long, but when you think about early couples' choices, and I'm going back to not that far, like Bill Bailey's couples' choice, Charles Venn's couples' choice, they were all street commercial, and they had intention, they had drive, they had a style to them. I didn't see that in Jamie Lang's couples' choice. He's always my go-to.
That's
and
always
I'm sorry,
the go-to.
Jamie, because it was the worst one that's ever existed.
I thought that had
of all the couple's choices,
but okay, let's not.
It was the style school disco.
Let's not go back around the Jamie Lang situation again.
I mean, it's been a long time since Jamie Lang
done that. But the more recent ones haven't had that. So I thought this was incredible. I thought this was amazing.
Yeah. It was so great to see him talk about his family and his journey, and also him getting choked up was choking me up. It was just beautiful to see more about Hamza, because there was an article in The Guardian, I don't know if you read it. It was an interview with him, and he's just a delight to hear about.
He's lovely, isn't he?
He's just a delight. I'm glad to know him. There's another reason that Strictly is, I mean, I don't know him, but you know what I mean. Through Strictly,
I'm glad
we all
he's
know
my
each
best
other.
friend.
Yeah, I'm glad we're married. I love him, and I think I just thought, right, we actually probably should talk about the actual dance. I thought the dance was phenomenal.
I
thought it was joyous, and those lifts, right? Someone, and in fact, one of our dear listeners tweeted us about it, saying, "Is Yavita giving Katja a run for her money in terms of parkour champion?" Like, That woman!
Oh my God.
Honestly, I don't know how they did it. It's one of those ones where you're watching it over and over again and you can't work out where their arms are at any specific moment. It's like a blur. It's incredible. Tony Blur. It was genuinely incredible. I have no words. There was a few moves I just adored, that they just brought like so much happiness to me to watch. And then to see, and let's just talk about quickly what Motzi said as well about not seeing that's what Couples Choice was invented for, so that we would all be exposed to different types of dance and that they're all as valid as ballroom. The problem was they shouldn't be it was meant to give equality, and that's what we got. We got equality and inclusion rather than running around. And I loved it so deeply that do you know what I would almost compare it to? But I think it was better. Is Michelle Visage's Vogue dance.
I know what you mean. In that it meant so much to him personally, like Michelle Visage's
exactly.
did. Yeah. And I think a lot of them do that, but they sort of try, some of them they try and make like a reason for dancing it. Like when Molly was like, poor Molly, I feel so bad coming for her Couples Choice all the time, but when she's like, well, my parents watch Grey and Chill, so this is really exciting for me, and I'm like, that's not a personal connection, like, it's not a personal reason to do this dance, and whereas this obviously had a clear personal connection.
Yeah. And also that was, again, what Couples Choice was invented for, right? Like, well, not all the time, like Graham Swanton had no personal connection to the Trolley song, but I do think that's the strength of Couples Choice.
Yeah.
If it wants to justify its existence, that should be it. And I think, it meant so much. And also, I feel like because I'm saying about like the running aroundness of Jamie Lang's
and also, can I say like Ellie Taylor's this year? Like, it's not just,
Yes.
You know.
Yes, exactly. Ellie Taylor's for definite.
Anyway, this was amazing. If everyone really, it's not a criticism. It's just Jovita was dancing so hard that Hamza's in comparison was almost not, like, if he'd been by himself I'd have been like, oh my God, Hamza's dancing so hard, like, amazing. But because Jovita was at like 5,000%. But I'm glad she got a little call out, because sometimes like the pros don't always get that, and she did, and I thought that was lovely.
Especially it's whole new to her as much as
exactly. But also love Hamza, and it's not a criticism at all. It's just
also,
I mean, Jovita's amazing.
Just want to also say that Hamza being like, thank you, when Motzi praised Jovita was genuinely like, they're such a good partnership and they're falling in love. I love it. And you know, I'm past my jealousy now. I'm now rooting. Sort of how I did for Kate Bosworth and Orlando Bloom when I was 13. Like, you have to root at some point. You have to take the hit. But I just, loved it. I will say, if I'm going to be totally objective, which we know it's hard for me, is that I maybe don't think it was a 10. I think he was a bit out of time at a couple of moments. Do I think it could be done in the final for a 40? Yes, I do.
Yes.
But I also you know, a 10 for the vibes.
I think that's where Motzi was at, and I didn't really blame her for it.
I think
so moved by it. So
and Hamza as well, but he was like obviously in tears with what she said about that, and I completely get that. 110, and sort of like Tyler's 110 for his cha-cha, you know? Like, sometimes you feel it. I'll allow one person to have a feeling. Let's go for it. And sometimes things, I guess, are more than, you know, more than a mark.
Yes.
I guess. Yeah. But it was an incredible dance. It was. Like, whatever we think, it was incredible. And it was just so great to see him happy.
Should we talk about the final dance? Flair's Samba.
Oh, I mean...
this was so great.
As a Danny Mac stan.
Yes.
You know how hard it is for me to say that a Samba deserves a 40?
Yeah.
Because the only Samba in the world that has previously deserved a 40 has been Danny Mac. I was almost a little bit stressed when the ex-pro Robin Windsor said that pipped Kelvin's samba to the post, and I was like, Danny Max. The best samba we've ever seen, thank you very much. But, oh my God, did this deserve 40?
This was amazing.
It was out of this world, wasn't it? Everything that Shirley said was right. The power and the control was there in equal measure. Yeah. And it was what we were saying last week about don't dim your light.
Yes.
Add finesse. Yeah. And boy, did she do it. Yeah. Vito came through.
He did.
With the choreography.
Yeah. I think
credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I know. I think he's maybe like taking this all on board as well. I hope he listens to this podcast. I'm sure he's listening to us.
I think I said this last week, and I definitely tweeted it, but I am obsessed with how much of a dork Vito is. He's such a little dweeb. I love him and all the social videos where he's playing guessing games, and I'm like, I want to play Ticket to Ride with you. I want to play Monopoly. I love him. I just think I'm warming to him more every day. And also, to be fair, our only beef was that we thought he overstacked the choreography.
Yeah.
Which he didn't this week.
And he didn't this week, so.
And look who nearly got a 40, who deserved a 40. And also, this wasn't your traditional, samba stylings, I would say. I mean, it was traditional, but, I mean, it wasn't, traditional strictly. They didn't try and make a samba cool, I don't think. It was proper, they could have been done in Strictly Ballroom.
Yeah.
Don't you think? It looked like...
I 100% agree. Also because of the outfits. They were so disgusting. But also, it had that real kind of, 80s, ballroom...
Ken Railings.
Ballroom competition, Strictly Ballroom vibes. And it kind of suited it, even though the costumes were so awful.
I love them. I want that dress. But yeah, completely. It was perfect. The whole thing was vibes.
Competition, Latin,
They should have put some numbers.
Yeah, honestly, genuinely, that's how it felt.
Well, couple 800 take to the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are non-federation moves. Everyone watch the film Strictly Ballroom if you haven't already. Or go and see the stage show, which I believe is on tour at the moment, with dear friend Kevin Clifton. Other musicals are available. So I just... I have nothing more to say than fantastic.
Yeah, incredible.
Fantastisch.
Yeah, amazing. And, we're not even at Blackpool. This was, a non-theme week, just business as usual week. BAU week.
Next week is going to be...
what are they going to whip out next week? Or do you think the pressure will get to them? They'll get too scared and bleh. But hopefully not. Hopefully they'll, live up to our expectations.
Flo, I want a sitcom that's basically one episode that's based on the Strictly tour bus on the way to Blackpool.
Honestly, release the tapes. I would love to see that. It would be so good.
Or an Inside Number 9 episode where it's on the tour bus is the number 9 or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, just a cold what's it? No, not a cold open, a bottle episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be such school trip vibes. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for all of them to get back. And also, nature is healing. Mm-hmm. We're back at Blackpool for the first time in 3 years. Can you believe? It's going to be something else. Mm-hmm. And Graziano with the dance there, my sweet prince. Also, I do just want to shout out, as I do every single year without fail, the Remembrance Day dance remains elite.
This was so lovely. This
it was beautiful. It was understated. Mm-hmm. Look what happens when you get hundreds of ballroom champions in a room. Hundreds. There were literally 12. But 12 or however many ballroom champions doing ballroom, and it was stunning. It was gorgeous. It was so moving, and I just think that dance has the power to move people. I love it, and I'm looking forward to next week's at Blackpool as well with the extra dancers. It's going to be incredible, I'm sure. But yeah, I just thought it was a stunning routine and very moving and very fitting. And I've said the word moving about 6 gazillion times, but it was moving. Simple and beautiful and everything it should be.
Oh, great week. Really enjoyed it.
Great
Loved
week.
it.
Great week. Love you, Strictly.
Love you.
Thank you so much for listening.
listening. Please keep tweeting us. We love it. You can find us at Strictly
We
on
do love
Sofa on Twitter, at Strictly on the Sofa on Instagram, and at Strictly on the Sofa at gmail.com. If you want to email us, if you have longer thoughts that a tweet won't cover. So yes, let us know, and have a really good week, and we'll see you all in Blackpool.
Blackpool is doing it for themselves. Bye.
Bye.